Peace. I'm Akram Adrian. This is another episode, Single Fathers Network podcast. And today is a very special day to me, actually, because there are only a small handful of people who actually influenced me to bring about like drastic change in my life. And I have the pleasure of speaking with one of those gentlemen today. And we're going to dig into his life, talk about, I'm being funny. We're going to talk about his experiences. He was a little nervous. That's why I said that. So joining me today is we got Adrian. Adrian, I know, right?
There's no sound effects?
That's post edit.
Oh.
No, but seriously though, Adrian is a very dear friend of mine, and he happens to be a father. And all of us have our own individual stories and things that we have been through. And I thought it would be a very good opportunity if I got the chance to get him in here, because he's shared a lot of insight that's helped me in my own journey. I love every time I get an opportunity to talk to him. So I am excited about today. I appreciate you coming, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. It's flattering. It is. It's very flattering. I appreciate it.
So we've shared a lot, but not specifically in the realm of parenting. So when you first found out the news that you were going to be a parent, you were around what age and what stage of life were you in?
I was a child, like 18,
Yeah.
18 years old. I wasn't supposed to have no baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still a baby myself.
This was right after high school or during high school?
This is like after, yeah, because I didn't.
What pathway were you on when you found out that information?
There's no pathway. There was no real like direction. I didn't really want to go to college or anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a positive experience in the school system.
Certainly understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so what were your first steps when you found, or did you do nothing? I don't know if I did anything really immediately.
Well, at that point of my life, I was trying very hard to find a father figure. And then I found out I was becoming a father. So at that point I was just like, I need to, do what I've always been told, and that's like you got to step up and you got to be a man, and but I didn't really even know what that was. I was still trying to figure that shit out.
When you say find a father figure, do you mean in your own, or do you mean like he wasn't present at all?
He wasn't really present. Like I was actually talking to my partner last night about it, because it's a continuous, like, trying to assist her in her, parental trauma that, she went through, and with me, like I've let a lot of it just like releasing it, like especially after this last time in the jungle. Like I'm going to plan on, driving up to New Mexico and seeing my father and letting him know face to face that I forgive him, because a text is just not going to like hold that same weight.
But you have that capability, so you're in communication with him now.
Yeah, he texts me a couple times a week.
Oh,
He thinks that I'm upset at him for his lack of presence and stuff like that, and it's that hanging on to, I would have stayed with your mom, and yeah, but you weren't doing right by her at all.
Right.
So you were,
probably would have done more harm than good.
Right. So like I was a kid trying to do right, but while trying to do right, still doing wrong, because I wasn't committed. You know what I mean? Like this was it. I had a few females at that time.
Right. So question, you say when you found out the urge to want to do right, like I'm sure at some point we all had that when we first got that information.
Right.
And the only example I had, I'm sure very similar to you, was like basically television shows.
Right.
I didn't really have a solid foundation as far as that goes. So like even when that moment happens and you understand that something different has to occur, what was that different? Like, or was it that's what I mean? Like, because when that moment clicked for me, nothing changed. I knew something needed to be different, but I didn't have a roadmap to different. So all I did was make everything I was already doing uncomfortable by adding the mental pressure and not knowing what to do outside of that stuff. You know?
Well, I don't know. With me, I didn't. I just. I can say this. I did the best that I could at that time.
I mean, but did that
Like
mean like you tried to get rid of extra women, or you tried to work more hours, or
I worked more,
uh,
and my my main goal when I found out was I'm going to be present when he's born.
respectable?
That was like my main goal because I knew in my heart of hearts I was not going to be with this girl. You know what I mean? And um I did follow her out to Wyoming.
Like
Where
to live?
yeah, she left while she was pregnant. She wanted to go up there and I was like, I mean, I'm going to come out here because I want to make sure that my son,
Of course.
and that's what I was trying to make these moves and thinking I was doing the right thing, but like at the same time I still had, the person that I actually wanted to be with here in Phoenix writing me letters over there. So it was
Accepting the situation?
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah, because the the girl that I was trying to be with here, she was actually pregnant as well, just not with my child. And the father of her child, when she found out, um, he actually died in a motorcycle accident the day prior to her finding out. So I was like, and she was a good friend of mine in high school, and I was trying to support that and trying to do this over here. But yeah, Wyoming was wild. Like my first day there, I got pulled over for going to a green light.
Going to agree. Oh,
And
yeah.
her stepfather had people that would call and offer him like, "You want us to take care of that?" I was there for like 7 months.
Is that ultimately why you left?
Well, I was only there to see
Right.
Del Born. That was my only purpose. Is like,
Yes.
and I told her that, and I was like, I'm gonna go back to Phoenix after, and then we'll figure out, everything else. And I understand that, reflecting on it, like we're both just scared kids trying to,
Of course.
survive. And yeah, that was really, really unhealthy.
How did I guess I was gonna say how did your support system react, but I guess I should pull back a little further and ask, did you have a support system when you found out the information?
Yeah, my mom, my mom, she wanted to be there, but she was here. And then I ended up moving to follow,
Right.
my son's mother.
Right.
And I mean, I would never have moved to, but I did that and had a lot of experiences there. And then when he was born, I was like, it's time for me to go. And I didn't just like jump up and run. I was just like, hey, this was a plan. It's come. We need to figure out how we're gonna do this. She wanted to come back to Phoenix, like with me. We drove back, stopped in.
Her
Texas.
intention was to move back.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna move back to Phoenix by myself,
Okay.
but she wanted to come, and she was like, well, if you're moving, then we're gonna come with you. I was like, okay. Because I mean, I wasn't gonna, if he's gonna be closer to me, that's the ultimate,
Right.
But that was me fantasizing about things being, 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Because with that, like I experienced like battling her for him for till he was 18. And actually,
in the courts
yeah.
in here in Phoenix.
Mhm. Yep. And then when she moved to Jersey, I, um, she put me in their system, or tried to put me in their system, and they shut it down here because this is where it originated at.
So during the back and forth, during that period, was there regular communication or visitation, like the separation between you and your
So
child that happened just when she moved, or did that start here?
no, I was fighting her here.
Yeah,
Like it was, not showing up for pickups. Not it was just
her.
yeah, it was a lot of, and yeah, it wasn't a positive experience.
Yeah.
And I don't. That's why if any like young brother asks me like, should I do like try to stay out of that system?
Yeah, yeah.
That system is just not meant
Completely agree.
to facilitate healthy families.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not built for that.
So, I happen to know that you have multiple children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I guess you just answered my question. I was wondering if you resolved the situation between you and her before you had a second child, but you said that the custody issues went on until he was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So then, where were you at in that? What brought about the choice to have a second child? Was that an attempt at a relationship? That was an attempt at doing things different?
No, that was me being in a relationship with my second son's mom, and we were both pretty adamant at being careful. She was actually on the pill, but at that time we were seeing this brother, Dr. Martin. He was my metaphysical doctor. Like I wouldn't go to any doctor but him. He's actually the only doctor I've ever been to. Like, no, actually, when I got snipped, that was a doctor. So
we could have left that out.
Huh? I mean, talking about fathers, I mean that.
Yeah, no, I'm being.
That was my birthday gift to myself.
Please. Yeah.
So, what was the question?
I was asking where you were when you found out that you were having a second child. Like,
like we were surprised but
did you instantly mentally go back to like were you hit with a bunch of fear, or did you feel different?
No, it was way different.
Yeah.
Like and I think it actually shows up in the relationship that I have. You can see the contrast with the relationship that I have with my first son, my older son, and my youngest son.
Right.
Because of what the mother of my second son, what she witnessed me go through with the first mother, she made sure that did not ever happen. Like she didn't ever like try to keep me from him. She encouraged that connection.
Right.
As opposed to the other one, there was too much, anger and spite. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't getting past the like. It's not about you and us,
right?
You and me. It's about this being that we're trying to build to be healthier than we are.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the language then for that.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, yeah. I don't know how if we can. Cuss or
came out real similar than that to me.
Yeah.
Me. A lot of frustration and same thing, trying to figure out how to go about it and not knowing. Wanted to be everything that my father wasn't from my perspective.
Right.
That's like what makes me different. I reflect all these years later and I ended up in a pretty similar situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I continuously try to inform my sons of. Is like you have to see me and not do what I did. You know what I mean? Because what I was doing, I even took my first son to go see my dad and told him like, I'm not gonna be like you.
Yeah.
And you know, boom, it. Then I'm there looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, there you
Done
are.
done it.
There you are. There's
Yeah.
my daddy looking right at me
Man.
in the mirror.
Man. That's a trippy moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a for real aha moment.
Yep.
And what I'm going to assume at some point your relationships, did they change with you first? Because I feel like in me knowing you, you probably went on like a journey of internal healing first, and then you worked on those relationships secondary, or was it the opposite?
Bless you, sir. What do you mean work on those relationships? Like which
I'm saying
ones?
like you said the relationship with your oldest son is reflective of the relationship you had with his mother.
Right.
So I'm assuming over time it improved. Is that because you decided to communicate different? I'm making that assumption.
So
I know you speak to them.
right. I speak to them, but especially with my older son, I mean, I am literally just witnessing him. I'm witnessing that the energetic karma that his mother and I created, and I can do what I can do on my end, but if you know his I can't be accountable for how his and who his mother is. You know, I can only be accountable for me and be like, I'm here, we can discuss this. Like if you have anything that you have on your chest, you can always, let me know. And I mean, I've been always like honest with him. Like, I told him, I mean, it's probably stuff I probably shouldn't have told him, but you know, being a parent, you don't have a blueprint. And being a father, you don't have a blueprint. And especially if you didn't have a father around to even give you a few tools, a lot of my male influences were like my uncles. And, I had two uncles one was 2 years older than me and one was like 1 year older.
Hot messes.
And we were like, we're more like brothers.
Yeah.
And then I had my older, like, Mexican uncles, and they all drank. And then on my dad's side, there's, country boys in the city not knowing how to act. So that's what I saw, and how they treated women was how I was treating women. And I didn't know anything any better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't have that information.
How was
how
better
to have
introduced to you?
I am, brother, to be honest with you, I am still literally working on it. And I think it's like lifetime work to be in
I agree with that.
relation with any human being.
What sets you on that path of at least being conscious of the fact that like some real work needs to be done?
I
asked that
when I
because
when
a
I
lot of
sat
dads come in hot, like they're angry.
when I sat with the medicine.
Yeah.
When I sat with the medicine, it helped me calm a lot of chatter down and like get into like my center, and like a lot of this.
That's even prior to meditation, or you?
Well, I mean, I've been practicing yoga. That was always
Yeah.
but like
There wasn't
it
anything
was
definitive then. You've been pretty much active in all that forever.
it's been since I was like probably like 15 when I was looking for a father figure, and I joined the Nation of Islam. So it was that reach that like I know that
Yeah.
I know that there's better than what I'm experiencing or even observing. Like even now, like when I witness, the outside world, is
Yeah.
so much more to it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's important for us to be diligent about building a community, because I know for me, like the changes in my life came from higher counsel, like people such as yourself. So if we have a support group of individuals who've been through similar situations.
Right.
And we share those stories and we create, tangible resources. It'll be impactful. Like we need that type of thing, man. So just again, I appreciate you coming here. Like, I would like to set up a part 2 of the interview, maybe ask some more specific questions. But yeah, I just generally want to get a feel for things, man. See, what do you feel like would have benefited you the most if you said you didn't have a blueprint? None of us did. It's impossible to have one. But had you had one, would it have been more like assistance for you or assistance for like the family? Just curious.
I would say assistance for the family unit, because when they have the mediators come in, like I dealt with mediators a lot. Like at one point I was working like 4 jobs trying to pay a lawyer, trying to get time with my son, and end up getting weekends.
So your mediator, you're referring to like someone to come in and help with visitation?
Right, but someone that has not intentions from like the court.
Right.
I mean, someone that will come in and actively try to
best interest of the child,
help them build like better communication within the church, because that's all it is. It's just a breakdown of communication.
Definitely.
And like you have fear, and being young, like when it comes to when I first became a father, I'm pretty sure that's how it is with these young kids. Like they're like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. I just found out a 17-year-old I know. I guess you could say I mentor. He's 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I found out the information. He hadn't yet got the information, but it's so ironic that this nonprofit exists now. I never foresaw it anything like that close to home.
Right.
Or another 17-year-old man. I can't imagine like what type of reaction you would have at 17, because he's very methodical. He's planned his life out, because he's in a situation where he wasn't born into the best situation.
Okay.
So he really wants to do a lot to take his sisters and his mother out of that, Because I was in my mid-20s when I found out, and even though I was still young, I was old enough to have made better choices than I did.
Okay.
But the same thing, I didn't have a real example of anything really. I mean, like nothing. Like I was lost from school to after school to, you know what I mean? Like dating was like, that was the relief for me. I was just trying to do something that felt different than what I was doing. Like I wanted to be grown. I thought that's what being grown was, making my own choices in that realm and doing things that adults did. And there's consequences,
Mm-hmm.
But we learn and we grow and we become better individuals. And I appreciate it. I can't say I would change anything, because it's leading to this. Had that stuff not happened, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation trying to make a difference in other people's lives. So it all served a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you would like to add?
Not really. I mean, you did good. Good job.
I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So again, Single Fathers Network. This is, I guess, the official 2nd episode. This is a beautiful moment. Happy to be here. If you are a single dad, please like, subscribe, follow us, spread the word. If you are a lover or a family member of a single dad, please do the same. Help us to grow this community so we can continue to create more tangible resources and give back and help these dads create a better situation and be there for their children, because that's ultimately what it's all about, doing the best thing in the interest of the children and keeping the family structure strong. So we appreciate you. Single Fathers Network, signing off.
All right. Good job.